Alright, hello, this is The Hatter. I'm submitting Before the Echo for... It's on the Steam library, and it's a game developed by Erding Games. It used to be called Sequence, but for reasons, there's some like legal name issues, so the game Sequence for the board game was like, no, we don't want you to use that name, so now it's called Before the Echo. In contrast to the next game they were developing for, which is a voice activated, I guess turn-based game. I'm not quite sure what that is all about. I haven't played it myself. But for this game, it's the Before Echo is a... Before we get into it, is the kind of like a DDR with RPG elements to it. To simplify the explanation, I'm going to showcase the 80% on easy. There's a singular medium percent, but easy is the most I'll say the most consistent of all these. Yeah, because these two here are extremely hard. Even on casual play, they're not really something you want to do. And this game isn't too as a speedrunning game, it's not too friendly to newer speedrunners, because of certain elements of RNG, and then also that there's some things you need to like keep in mind while you're speedrunning this game. Like, you have to do some crazy amount of backup steps depending on a scenario. This is I am the current world record for this game, though I don't usually play this thing too often because it's not a great speedrun game to like continuously trying to beat my own record on, because of like I said, the RNG aspect of this game. Overall, it's a very fun game on a capture spot, especially on easy or medium. It gives you enough oops, started the game by accident. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so the run starts once I do accept the continue, and you can see there's a little error here. That's because I'm using a window mode of all things. Yeah, and you can see my mouse on the screens. The mouse will be a little bit important. It will help out to like visualize from a viewer stance, where's anywhere I'm pointing at. It does help out a little bit on selecting certain things. Not a lot, but it helps out a little bit. Just a little bit, just a tad bit. But mostly you'll be using the keyboard for the most part, because it's mostly faster to do that. Anyway, let's get to it. So once I click on to accept, that's pretty much when the speedrun starts. So, and also another thing that I should mention before is that I haven't figured out how to like split correctly with my light split. So I'll be like clicking out the window to click on the light split, then slam my split button, and then I go back in the screen to finish up whatever needs to be done on the screen. And oh, and another thing I'm going to mention is about the settings. There's voice acting, so you can turn it on and off if people don't like it or not. And there's screen autoplay, so we don't usually see most of the cutscenes. The only cutscene that we will see as voice acting goes would be the last chapter, or at least the in the room's voice acting. A little bit, but some voice acting. To say the least, because we will pretty much be mashing through each text, so pretty much they only say one word. Text speed will be obviously high for those scenarios. Gen speeds is 1. I don't think there's really any difference between these on screen anyways. It's still the same speed overall. Though you don't want to have it higher speeds of gems because it's really hard to manage through the game. I turned off full screen because I need to click on it. But if I do manage to get this into the GDQ, I'll probably use full screen. There's vibration. I'm not using a controller. And then I'm not using a rotation reverse. There's a bumper for casting spells. And there's a ring for that. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, and particle effects. I'm gonna show up cases on screen. It's quite annoying to deal with, but it's there, and also that it does cause a lot like flashing, so it could do some like seizure warnings, which is because it just like flashes a bright white light. I'm sure like that's not a huge trigger for seizures, but it's happens multiple times when I'm casting spells, or if I manage to when I do cast a spell and then I manage to hit a crit in the game. So that'll be very annoying to the viewer, to say the least. So particles in itself doesn't eliminate that. What does eliminate is the animations. If I do cast a spell, there's like whirlwind. It'll do like a particle effect where it whirlwinds in the middle, which is good for the viewer, so the viewer can look at that. But the for me as a player, it kind of gets a little bit annoying after seeing it so many times, and it does block some view of the falling pieces of the DDR pieces that I need to execute correctly for most of them. But yeah, that's all I need to do, and I can't really change the difficulty at all. For after like what I see is here, after 4-3 you can't change the difficulty. So, but mostly since this is this category where it's just by difficulty, we'll just be playing through easy for the most part. Yeah. Alright, let's get the run started. I'll do a countdown of 3 seconds. So 3, 2, 1. Wait. Okay, I forgot myself. I need to click out the screen, then click in. Oh, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. For the most part, you can skip the beginning part of the tutorials. So yeah, there's the skip scene. And this one, unfortunately, you can't skip at all, really. The first fight is like unskippable, so it's very annoying. Although the second fight, there's a chance, if I execute it correctly, there's a small chance that I could do it 2 cycles instead of 3 cycles, because of the crit mechanic, which the game does not tell you at all. I have to like figure out myself to actually know what this crit mechanic is, because there was like cases where it did more damage than others, so I was like really confused when I first running this game. As far as history goes, this is technically my first stream game as a speedrun game, because I thought it was a very, it's a very cool game, so I might as well try it out as a begin. And we won't be doing it 2 cycles, so we'll be doing 3 cycles, which is fine. The world record has that same problem too, but it's a small chance that I can execute correctly. But yeah, this is my first dream game, and it's like a very. It was when it first came out. It was like 2 years old. Now it's 6 years old. Surprisingly enough. I still have fun like going back and forth with it when I can, essentially. Overall, it's been an experience. So we sell these Iridians for experience. The game has a weird mechanic with experience where items will give you experience. And then if you can convert certain items to experience. And it's very, very like interesting in itself, to be honest. So you'll be like managing like, okay, I could use this as a weapon or as a material to make this spell. Or I could just convert it for experience, which will get me to the next level so I can do more damage. So it gives this huge dynamic of like, you could use these materials to help you out with getting to the next part very easy, or you could like ignore it and then it will make it a little bit harder, but you'll still have the tools to actually do the fights in the future relatively easy, for making up for that small like backstep essentially. And here we're hoping to get cotton, hipster cotton. Yes, there is a percentage for drops, and they don't usually drop even if very high percentages in this game. There's like a one item that's like 90% chance of like dropping, and I have a case where I don't have like a bottle of it or anything, but I had a case where I legitimately did not get any items for him in like 2 times. Oh. So percentages for certain items drops where most of this run is gonna fall short. Oh, magic staff. That we're gonna equip that. So it's really like very, very iffy on consistency, to say the least. But let's talk about like the gameplay of this. So there's 3 like panels you could say about this. The blue one is your mana field, and that one gives you completing the notes on there. You get mana for your spells, which you can use to damage or heal yourself. Usually we're gonna use it to damage the opponent. And then here's another mechanic in this game, creating keys. Oh, nice, first try. All right, that was really good. So each battle has their own mechanic. Mana field for mana, the spell field for casting your spells that will either damage or heal you, or the defensive field where the opponent, if there's a arrow on that side and it goes through, it will damage you for a certain amount depending on the color and the percentage of how much defense you have and how much attack the opponent has, which it doesn't say in the game, but for the most part it's really quite annoying if there's a certain color one. Color ones do a huge amount of damage depending on the situation. Yeah, we lost a lot of time there. That one does not give you any attack, so it's not really worth it to try to do that. Now this game will start to introduce a new mechanic in the game. So the last floor, in this game there's bosses on each floor, and each floor they are guarding pretty much you from progressing the game due to some reasons that at the beginning of the game it foreshadows that you're being kidnapped to follow the needs of this organization. So you are being followed by a person on a voice call called the Shepherd, and it's supposed to guide you through the no drops, guide you through the whole floor of this mansion. And that was unfortunate that we didn't get any drops there. So on this floor, the leader or the boss of this floor is they will make your pieces invisible, so they're arrow case essentially. So you have to like memorize your timings and what pieces are being displayed on screen. It's quite a little bit annoying, but once you get like through playing this game a lot, oh, I missed that piece. It's quite easy to do that. But so it's quite easy to do pressing certain buttons. And as you can see, if you miss the a certain when you're using a spell, if you miss any of the pieces of the arrow piece, you will automatically not be able to use that spell. No partials or anything. Your spell will automatically fail. So that'll be the I messed up that one as well. So if I miss the piece of the spell, essentially it will drop, and then I will have to not only fail that spell, but also waste the time for that spell to fully go down. So you're just if you miss one at the first one, you're pretty much seeing the whole spell just like being wasted and take up most of your time. And that's not good. Not only as a speedrun, but also in certain battles. Like the key mechanic, not the key mechanic, but the a mechanic of the game is that your spells, not spells, each battle you either have to beat your opponent before you die. Oh, that was good. Or before the time runs out at the bottom. So the bottom left, there's a timer in these, and it's depending on a certain song, but based on the timer, it's real. If the song is really short and it has like a very slow beginning, then that means you have to like use your spells almost immediately, and then have to be quite efficient with your mana source. So if you don't, if each spell you need to have a certain mana amount to actually activate it. So if you if the song is very slow, then you have less mana on the mana field to cast a spell. So it becomes a very drawback balance in case some words could say about it. A small balance case where you're going back and forth, trying to like manage your sources, which we will have ways to go about it. And another drawback of this game is also everything costs experience. The keys you go up for. You're trying to make a certain equipment. You need experience. So not only is it costs experience to make these things, but also that there's a chance of it, which I did like showcase right there, is that there's a lot of chances where it could fail very, very badly. We need this so that all the battles could be a little bit faster. Fortunately for this floor, wait, I messed up. That's the wrong one. Well, we could do that one, but not now. Fortunate about this floor is that it's purely RNG. Like in my run of this game, is that I did this like essentially first try on everything, and then I got everything I needed, essentially. So I didn't need to like do more grinding for this area. So you can see like you could see the time loss being wasted on certain floors just because of not getting certain items or gaining items at all. Like you want to at least get a material of some sort, so you could like maybe use it for experience in case things goes wrong. But even the game won't allow you to get one of those drops that they have, like say like 80%, 70%. Yeah, you could like manage through this kind of, but it's very unlikely to be on like have enough things for the certain floors. And we got polisher remover. That's good. Now we just need to get the calendar for this floor, and then we could start making the key. Luckily, the first 3 floors are not too terrible as far as things go. Trying to like get experience in it, everything. Like you could be like level 1 experience on certain bosses, and you can still manage to do the first 3 at least fairly easily. But after the first 3 floors, then it gets really I could say interesting, but it just gets really hard. Like, it gets really extremely hard. To the point where you don't even think this is easy anymore. It, like, you can think it's, like, hard. Like, it just gets really insane. Alright, let's see if we could do this 50%. Yes! 50%! Alright, we didn't have to waste extra experience for that. Alright. But I would say this is that the gameplay might not be the best, but I think the song selection for this game is always been my favorite of the whole series. It's been like actually been used to for other things as far as goes. Like we use it for like a studio a couple times for their opening. Oh my god, right? Arrows, no. And it's like it's very unique song track for sure. Very unique, and has pretty much a very good like tune too. You could like use it as a background noise. And then I do like the aspect of it using DDR for mechanics. It's like there's not really a lot of genres that actually use the DDR mechanic per se, like in a very fun way. I've seen like one game that did it, but it's a alright game. It's just not very intensive. Like how I want would be for a DDR game, essentially. well, this game is like there's CDR and like RPG elements to it that really makes sense in some regards. But yeah, there's like a lot of leeway time where I'll be very focused on the music itself and the gameplay. And right there, that was the example of the credit. But yeah, I'll be like really focusing on like the gameplay itself because I want to I'm trying to look at the borderlines of the fields. The when it flashes, that's it flashes during the beat of the song, but in order to do a crit, you have to I think it's almost frame perfect unless you get a certain item that we don't get in the run, but it's pretty much almost the same beat. I forgot I need to get this. No, I don't need to get that yet. Alright, that's what I needed to get rid of. But you need to like get a same beat of the song. And I'm just like focusing on looking at the borderlines while doing the correct arrow sequence. Sometimes I could just like do it like automatically because I've been like playing through this game a lot of times, so it's just like I could just go by the presses of the memory, muscle memory essentially. But it's most of the part. Oh, I don't like this one. I forgot. This one you can't switch between borders. So if there's the red arrows on the defense line there, I could be in a very bad decision there. Luckily there wasn't. Oh, and then another thing about the bosses port thing is that they only can activate once outside of the boss fight. So you won't be seeing that again anytime soon of this fight specifically. Alright, we have to take some damage here. But yeah, it's either I just do it by muscle memory or just like beat up the music essentially. And this is part of the song where it's slow, so you won't get as much mana. So gonna be a little bit careful here. Miss that one. Alright. Got 2 hits here. Ooh, nice. Alright, we either need a crit here. Yeah, we got crit. So now we could do this fight. One more hit. And now we're looking for this particular monster. It's a red apple. And we did not get a red apple. Alright. Getting a red apple from Yadi. That's quite peculiar. Since there's the wooden monster on the left that does not drop a red apple. For this sport, I do it's like route change to what what in our streamer does that help out like keeping the route organized. Like I don't usually write down my notes all the time, so it's really hard for me to like actually keep my thoughts organized for the most part. Trying to convey it to another player essentially. I'm gonna get more mana. That was bad timing. There we go. Luckily this song is a little bit slow, so you can keep up with the beat of the borders. So you can crit a lot of times during this song, particularly this song. Yeah, I was waiting for the arrows on this fence to go down so that I don't get red arrows like there. Like right now I'm in that little bit of danger zone of health. Ooh. Yes, okay. Whew. Yeah, it's quite intensive, like during each fight. And we got the rat apple, so we won't be doing the Yeti again for now. We'll be coming back to the Yeti later for another weapon, or another spell, particularly. But I usually just like skip on trying to get the second one because it's really hard to like do the Yeti fight particularly, and also it's like it's kind of like annoying to worry about the red arrows that could kill you. Like if two of them go through like separately, it will take off like 40 HP, 20 each essentially. So at this point in the game, like you don't want to like take a lot of damage at all. You actually don't want to take any damage while getting all your spells ready. But it's quite interesting when you're doing with these fights, because a lot of them are very easy, straightforward. You don't have to worry about it. Copper wire, yeah, we got one. All right, and we'll be going back for that one later as well. And now we need another multi-thread furnace. Luckily, the game allows you to fight it early on, so the this cloud and the cloud that you fight before are the same enemy. So they will drop, the first one will always drop a multi-thread, and then the refights of these, there's a possibility that it won't drop a multi-thread, but it's a very high possibility that it will drop a multi-thread. So there's not too much to worrying about this enemy particularly. So doing it like glass isn't too much of an issue. And also, it's probably the easier of the fights because the songs are somewhat like easy to manage through. Gives you a lot of mana, and also it's very quick. All right. Let's try 67. I'm a little bit greedy. Yeah, it worked! Oh my god. Such luck. This song is a extremely fast of a song, so you're mostly going to get a lot of crits here. The beat of the song is going to be like really fast. But this guy does drop a lot of red, so you have to be very careful when dealing with it. If you're low on health, you have to, for sure, have to be in the defense area. And this part of the song is very easy. Oh god. I do need mana, so I'm gonna risk a couple of hits here. Left. But if you just keep an eye on the defense area, then this fight is just overall easy. It's not too much of a hassle to like manage that. But you just have to be aware what could possibly go wrong in this run. Like, there's a lot of possibilities that things could go wrong. And we will be using the Caleb King dagger because that does give you additional attack damage. And then here, this is gonna be, you know, a normal fight. You're like, yeah, magic, and like, oh my god, what is this? Okay, but this is one of the cases where the game it will give you a more story-driven fight, but it's like it's just a essentially a quick, easy fight. It's pretty much a stage fight. It's not a story-driven fight that you don't necessarily need to worry too much about. Now here is the I would say the most annoying of the game. Like, even in all my playthroughs of the game, this floor is quite I don't know, like, it's really like some of the drops, like all these drops from this guy I do need. But obviously this game has, like, you know, bad RNG drops that could ruin any gamer's time. Like, as a speedrunner, like this, I could lose like legitimately 10 minutes. 10 minutes because I didn't get a certain drop from this floor, and then finally do, and then I need to get another a single drop from it if I'm doing a small mistake, which I do a lot of times when I'm not like paying attention to what I'm selling. To different for experience. And another reason why this floor is kind of bad is because this floor has a mechanic where it will steal all your mana, so there's that. So you'll be focusing on getting all your mana back. So if you like saving a soft hold for a huge spell on this floor, you're gonna be in for a sad time for sure. Luckily, it only happens once each fight, but it's quite annoying every fight essentially to like have your next huge mana spell that you need to do to beat this guy very quickly. But yeah, this floor is just gonna be like 20 minutes of like me just bantering about what I don't like about this run. But I just like I do like the game overall. I just, in a speedrun sense, it's quite annoying as a speedrun. Oh, we got built all three. That was huge. That was huge. I'm not quite sure if that's going to happen in actual speedrun, but that means we could get this. Like, immediately we could get this, and it will save a lot of time. Alright, I'm going to just put a higher percentage for this. It's not going to cost too much experience, but it's just like quicker just to like immediately just press that. But it's not quick if I do mess it up. Oops. Sense that. Alright. Now this one is every time you're trying to learn a song, you have to complete a certain goal, what they set out. So the goal for this one is to have a combo of 80, which I mess up right there. So small time loss there, but I don't have to complete the song to actually get this. So there's many chances in the beginning where if I do mess up, then it's just a small time loss. But overall, you just want to do every press of the button perfectly. And yes, in the higher difficulties, these songs they will give you more drop, more arrows you have to deal with, and more of them are gonna be very, very close to each other, and the song is gonna have the same speed. So that's why, like, in higher like difficulties of the game, it's almost unplayable. It's like it's really hard to play it casually and be like very enjoying your time playing this game at higher difficulty. And nonetheless, there's not actually any speedruns for the higher difficulties besides medium. But it's like overall, like the most of the fun of speedrunning this is through playing easy. That's at least why I like have experience with it. Is that easy is legitimately the speedrun category for this game. Alright, now we're gonna go back. I already got the... Nah, so I'm gonna go to the 3rd floor to complete these fights again. And this time we'll have the Miasma, which is a damage over time poison. Which is the second highest in the game. There's another version of it at early on floor 2. But the thing is that the problem with poison in this game is that they don't stack with each other. So if you use one poison after the first one goes off, you essentially can't. This is gonna be hurt a lot. Ooh, 18 damage there on red. But essentially, you can't stack them because it'll override the other poison that was used beforehand. But it does cost a lot of mana, and it's kind of a huge investment if you since it's a little bit complicated. But the huge payoff is it's a damage over time, so that means it will consistently deal damage every 5 seconds, I believe. Others it's like 3 seconds. And if you crit with it, then it does additional damage, which is another huge payoff. So essentially, if it does like 10 ticks with it, it's 30 damage right there. And not a lot of just regular spells could just match up that huge damage at all. Oh wait, I didn't get the... What am I doing? I need to get the red apple. So I need to get another red apple from this guy. Yeah, great. Now it does 4 damage every second. Alright. Let's see if we get the red apple here. Nope, we did not. And this, the reason why we need to get a red apple and then a copper wire later is that we need to get it so that we get a spell that's called Convert 1. And Convert 1, it will give you mana, and in exchange for your health, a certain percentage, you would get a certain amount of mana for using that skill. And that's fine. Alright. Wrong direction. so we got here? No, we don't. Oh my god. This is why like this game is not a very polished like speedrun. Cases like this is that you could just have the game could just screw you over really hard. Like if the game allowed me to have a item at least 50%, like every 2 fights I could guarantee a item that I need. I mean, that's what like 30% is. Every 2 usually should be getting a certain amount, almost guaranteed. But it usually just takes me like a long time to get a certain item from these fights. If the game's allows that. But yeah, cases like this is that you want to get items that would just help you get mana. And there we go, we got a rat apple here. So yeah, so that's why there's a lot of reasons why we need to get certain spells, is so that we could get essentially just beat these fights relatively like consistently, while hoping that the game will give us the items that we need. Like just hoping. Like there's no like really hard to like skill you have to do. It's just hoping that the game will just drop you the RNG drop. Like there's some like theories. I had some theories about what the game does and why it does this and that. Some of them have been proven, like the crit. Like I've proven that countless of times. That is a thing. But I don't know. This game is just like, it's so hard to know what's right or wrong. Like before I did route out the candlestick that I opted out on 4-2, because I thought, oh yeah, it's kind of slow to trying to get that because of the bad RNG drops. But it's been proven that it's better to get that overall, because it's slightly faster to do that than to like wait for certain weapons, or not weapons. Wait for doing these fights at slightly slower pace with the addition that it could not drop off the item anyway. So it's just faster to just get this candlestick. Hopefully you get the items I need for the candlestick in 2 fights rather than like 3 or 4, which like I did. But yeah, for like the parts where you're learning spells, there's like a lot of downtime. I don't have to really focus on this particularly. Like, there's one song that I particularly just press random buttons usually, and it just works out because it's the completion goal is to play the song at a percentage of hit rate, rather than playing a song getting a certain combo amount. So we'll be wasting essentially 4 minutes trying to get that certain spell, which will be coming up soon, very shortly. Select 4. And here we'll be showing off the example of why Convert is really good. Like, boom, boom, you get 28. That's a huge percentage of your mana pool. So essentially, the mana field isn't too useful after you get convert, but you still have to go back and forth anyway, just so that you maximize your output overall. There we go. And poison will kill it. This should give us a pencil. Yeah. Pencil is 91%. Like, it's almost guaranteed. Almost. Luckily, this fight here is like the easiest. We don't get the RNG drop that we need, and it's not a huge time off to try to get them out anyway. And plus, we only need to use the regular skills rather than using the poison for this one, since this enemy has low health. And we got flower. Flower. Oh, I haven't scrolled down my notes. Alright. This should give us... yeah, slash here. And slash is the percentage one, so... like, this one here is just pretty much you just press the notes when they come down, and then you can just ignore some of them. So if you can't like do this like 100%, like there's no worry. It's 80%, and then you only need to have to like miss like I believe 25 notes throughout the whole song to actually mess up that. So there's not too much you could really do about that. If that happens, you just have to. If you fail, like I haven't failed any songs because I play this game a lot. So I know how to do those songs properly. But if you fail any of the songs, you will have to pay back. You have to restart the whole song sequence again. But also you have to pay back the experience that you have to use to activate the tests of the song. So that means you will be wasting not only your time with the song, but also the time that you gain amount of experience to actually get that song. Which is for this one particularly, is that it's really high. Like, you'll be wasting 2 fights trying to get the same amount of experience that you did to get this song to be activated. So it's very important to like be a little bit focused if you're starting to get really low. But luckily this, like on easy, like this song isn't that hard, so you don't really need to focus. As long as you just like remember to like look at the songs, notes, or the arrows correctly. But yeah. This is like a very huge downtime to in the run where you can just see donations or explain a little bit things about this run, and what are my thoughts about the game, or all that ton of stuff. Like, it's 4 minutes. You could like legitimately just use that for a lot of things. So having a little downtime like this is really cool. Like, as for me, like before, like when I started streaming, like I had like a hard time just like really just like have the energy to stream and playing the game. It does take a lot of energy to try to do balancing that out, but I'm now getting a little bit better at doing that. Like talking more in the stream, even if nobody's actually watching, or pretty much just talking about random things about the run and about this game. But yeah, it's a fun game. I just can't really understand why there's some decisions about the game. Like, it really affected the speedrun of it. Like, it's not very fun to speedrun this game continuously because of the pure RNG of the game. Like, I know it's like it's trying to be more RPG like. That's fine, but I just don't understand is the aspect of like certain floors being like harder than others. Just for like small users, it's not very user friendly as well. Like the arrows here, like they can't they're not like regular DDR. I think they have their own system, so they don't have like, oh, perfect, have this score here. It's like when you press on it, it doesn't do any of those perfects. So it's really hard to like manage to like understand whether or not you're doing things right, or it's pure luck. Alright. Just want to do some last minute things to check. Alright, I just want to make sure. Yeah, I need a comedy club from this guy. Oh, and that's why I now remember. Like, a lot of another time loss is me remembering to do something, like putting on the slash that I just did to that whole like sequence I was going up against that I wasted time on to get. But with this skill, essentially I'm gonna do a lot of damage for the amount. Not a very good equation of like getting an equal amount for my mana, but it will, since we have convert, we make up the mana amount lost by using that instead. So it's not really a time loss to try to do that. That's a time loss. Yeah. And yes, this is one of those skills that is quite annoying to have it on the screen. So if I might have to have a donation sentence to have the pargos on. Others, I don't really like the pargos at all. It's really annoying. It's kind of like takes up a lot of the screen. But I mean, if there's a demand for, okay, keep the particles on, even if it does affect the screen a lot, then I'll just go with it. It's not too much of an annoyance to me, whereas I won't be able to function while during a run. But it's just overall on the screen, just a huge block on the screen. But yeah, we still need to get a comic club. We got fine powder. That's fine. I think the funny thing about this game is that later in the game, there's the item that will increase your chances of getting, like have a higher chance to drop these certain drops of the game. Will drop a very good weapon at a higher amount. But the downside is that, oh god, I messed up. The downside is that you'll have to use your stats to make up for that item, because it'll essentially will make your stats go down by 20%. If I remember correctly like that. Otherwise it does a huge amount of your stats that will make it so hard the fights that you're trying to get almost impossible unless you overgrind beforehand. Then you go try to grind for that item that will not be guaranteed anyways with that item, because it's only boosted up by 10%, which is not a lot. And with this game, even like a 90% item is insane that it just doesn't drop. Sometimes it does not drop sometimes. Oh my god, this is gonna be terrible. I hope it's not this scenario where I'm just gonna get a huge amount of fine powders and experience. I already know what's my estimate for this game. My estimate for this game is gonna be a huge one. Not like oh, an hour huge, but it's gonna be like 30 minutes difference from my record. Because yeah, this game just has so much RNG elements when it comes to like speedrunning it, that 30 minutes, it's not like a huge difference, but it's like 3 minutes you could do a lot of things. Like you have like a small game that you play for like 3 minutes could like be easily used up instead of this game. So it's understandable if that will be one of the purposes to why this game is not would be accepted to any friend of any sort. And we finally got it at level 12. Oh my god. We're getting a lot of experience, so that's fine. I personally was worried about like not being like if I do this correctly and then get a good time on certain things, I was worried about if that ever happens, I'll be always worried about the amount of experience that I will have for the rest of the run. Because at a certain point of the game just gets like I said before, like hard, but it gets a different hard if you go through a low level kind of. The difference is that when you're going like almost low level of the game is that you won't be dealing a lot of damage, and you'll be able to take a lot of damage from enemies, like a huge amount. Like it's quite insane how much damage that the enemy can do if you allow them to mess around with you. And we got a gun, so we get a little bit more damage in exchange for for some experience. Okay. A little bit messed up here. Ooh, I am messing up a lot here. What was I supposed to get here? Oh yeah, I need to get a lanyard. There we go. We got it. We don't need that fine powder, and we don't need this flower. We already got the slash, so we don't need that. We need one more pencil, and we should be alright. Ooh, I messed up there. Alright, well, we'll have to wait for it to convert. Oops. I got a little bit greedy there. That's fine. We got the slash. And we got the pencil. We shouldn't be missing any of those pencils. But we did miss one, so... One is fine. One misses from that, it's fine. And we got the 4 key, yes! I love a first try 4 keys every time. So we don't have to waste so much mana for that. Oh, right. I was too focused on the mana. I forgot that I had to convert up. Alright. That was good. Yeah, 8 minutes lost because of that whole scenario. Alright, well, after that floor, we're pretty much on go mode. Like, we don't necessarily need to get any more spells. We got all the spells that we need actually to complete the game now. At a very good pace. To say the least. Alright, let's see if we can get a crit here. Darn it. One frame too late. Alright. And we got everything. That's good. That means we could sell some things here. Yeah, none of them give any attack, so we'll be converting those. And we'll converting this to get more experience here. Oh no! Ah, my god, I made a mistake there. We needed that as hyperic acid. Yeah, so luckily it's a high drop. It's a 90. This is the item I was talking about. The 97 high drop. So we'll be just doing one more fight with this guy. Slow. Oh no, we messed up. Oh my god, 53 damage. And that's an example why red arrows are very dangerous in this run. Alright. Yeah, we got that. And let's not be a dummy and not steal the other high break. Nice. Okay. Alright. Okay. We'll keep those two. And then we'll have to do this one now. We need a amorphous blob. Oh my god, they're already giving me reds. This is not gonna be good. I have noticed throughout my gameplay of this game is that if the enemy is giving you a red arrow at the beginning of the game, or the battle particularly, it's gonna have it's gonna drop more of those throughout the whole game. Section of this. Sorry, I have to be a little bit focused because arrows goes fast on this floor. But essentially, like, it will keep on dropping like red drops, like at a very high rate. Like on the chart, like it's supposed to be like compared to like the other colors, it's like 1 out of so we got the next color, and then 1 out of 10 out of the other color. Just basing on the charts itself, like we could see right here, like this is the main color and this is like the small percentage, but it just keeps on giving me a lot. Like this one, like if it's like this one goes a lot, then this will be a lot more than the other colors, which is quite insane. Oh, we didn't get any drops from this. I completely forgot. But I don't know. It's really like kind of not put me in a very bad state of mentality where I'm just like focusing on the defense more than actual like the gameplay of itself, where I need to focus on, okay, defense, attack, defense, get mana, type of deal. Spike Club, we'll be using that. Alright, more experience and more damage. Oh my god. I forgot, I got a lot of crits, so that means this fight got a lot shorter. I was just like doing that correctly. And it still didn't get the F morphits. Oh man. I got the higher drop rate one too, so that means like I don't know what's going on with this game sometimes. It drops a higher rate drop, but it doesn't get the like a. Oh no. It does not get the higher rate drop, but it gets the lower rate drop to actually progressing through. Which are the lower rate drops are usually used for the 100%. Which some people did attempt in the past, but it's not very too interesting in the game because you just do any percent plus the just collect everything else 100%. So it's just like addition if you want to continue from 80%, you just do 100%. And now we got F more shot. Yeah, and we have all these spike bats for nothing. Or Spike Club. And now, from this person, or this monster, we need to get... Oh no, red drops. We need to get... Meeple Sap. I don't know how you get Meeple Sap from a... Naga? I don't know. I mean, it looks like a Naga, but it's blue. Type creature. Essentially, you get Meeple. You need to get 2 Meeple Saps from this person. It is the higher of the drops, so it's not too bad to try to get them, but you still have to do a multiple of them, multiple fights. My world record attempt, not attempt. My world record didn't have it first try for each one, and it did not drop the Meeple Sap. But it first tried the 2 attempts on this fight, so essentially it made it like extremely fast. It just went so fast. Because normally you had to do like 4, maybe 5, it could be 6. I don't know. this one particularly, it just takes a very, very, very long time to complete it correctly. Oh, nice. We got the crit there. Another plant. We don't need stripper, and we don't need this. Oh, and another thing about the resources, they do have like very snarky text on them. If you happen to read them, I'm sorry. Like, some of them are kind of offensive, to be honest. Not like racial or like any political agenda offensive, but it's kind of offensive, as in you might take it in the wrong way. If you're a gamer, of course. But yeah, it's kind of weird for some of them. I'm not quite sure if I should even mention it. I might just not never mention it just to be safe, because it's kind like a lot of the text is just very, very weird. It's kind of like a smart aleck trying to be like funny, but they accidentally just seem like very rude. And we got one maple sap. We need one more. But I think that's just a nice touch of the game developer doing that. If it was done a little bit better. Because some of them I just feel a little bit embarrassed to like even mentioning it. And I don't want to point out which one, but one of them I'm pretty sure people will just be like very, very offended by. Because it's a very long term. I'm pretty sure like a lot of people just don't like being referred to that or type of word. Which would I don't even want to mention where it might be found in the run, so yeah, it's just I don't know. It's something I should talk with like maybe a staff. If this run does get through and then want to talk about certain things I should not talk about. Because I know that's an issue, and I know that a lot of people don't take your time to actually ask the staff, okay, my run has this, should I not talk about this? And don't give me the, okay, we'll do it when you're run, because I'm pretty sure people don't do that. Check themselves during a run. So I want to be 100% sure that I'm allowed to talk about this subject, or talk about that subject. Because a lot of people are now more touchy than ever before. Even on the tiny subjects. So I have to, for sure myself, to be careful. Because my morality is that I don't really have too much of a political agenda, but I could easily just be ignorant to what could be considered political agenda. So that's why I'm usually worried about and trying to check myself to not be seen in that way. I mean, this part here is pretty much just all random talk time. There's not a lot of things you could really do much about speed up this process. The game is it's not a game where you would like do like a game breaking bug. You could skip towards the end of the game by doing this bug at the first beginning of the game. So there's no major skips like that while playing this game. So, but it's just there's a lot of small time saves and then a lot of things you can consider while playing this game that will maybe save time, maybe not save time, depending on certain strats while running through this game. And yes, this is another force fight. That's not really a force fight. No, also a fight that originally is placed by play itself. But yeah, overall, like this, from this point on, the game gets really, it gets really good. Like it gets more difficult and creative of that, so it's like really crazy. But the game starts to like get really good on the soundtrack, and also like really good on the fact that things get more intense in the story, and things get more intense in how you play through the game. Like you have to make more decisions than ever before, and you have more options than you ever have before, comparatively to after this at the start of this fight. Essentially. And I'm kind of worried because anytime when it gets to this point, I'm very worried that maybe there's gonna be like the red drop. So I'm just gonna take my sweet time on not dealing with that. Alright, this is gonna be difficult. No, this is bad. This is some more doing that. Alright, so we're gonna have some time loss. I could easily just mess this up, but I know in my heart that I shouldn't be losing on this. Like this is like the drama of the run. Yes, I didn't take a damage. Whew. But yeah, I could have easily lost that very hard. And this is like the point where you won't think that easy is easy. This is like legitimately hard. It gets really quite intense when you're doing a low level and everything. And that this is the only equipment that really gives you extra damage. I'm gonna do a safety strat. Like, we don't necessarily need to do this in a run, but I'm gonna do a small safety strat where I'm gonna get a barrier up just in case. Like, just in case, because we usually just have that empty, but just in case if things could go, like, damage-wise go wrong, we'll be using that. And this one here is that we need to do like I usually do the hardest first, then the easiest last, so right to left. But this is like the starting from this 4 to the last 4, I need to do it in the normal order because the fights are extremely they can't be easily dealt with. they're not normally can be dealt with normally in normal terms of things. Alright. And then you get the safety up. Ooh, we missed the flash. No, we're missing on 10 damage here. So we're gonna waste a lot of time trying to make that. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately for this, we're not gonna get world record or anything. Like world record, like I barely got that world record. Like my last world record was 45 minutes, 1 hour and 45 minutes, and that got easily dethroned. Once like there was another runner, I think it was Muslim actually, that was doing a run, and I told him like, oh wait, you could just easily like save time because you don't necessarily need to do this fight here to get a certain weapon on the next floor. You can just do this, and he immediately just saved 5 minutes. 5 minutes from the world record, and I'm like, oh okay. And then I did my world record, in a sense, which was a lot, just to like get my time lowered. I only barely saved about 2 minutes. 2 minutes! With all the RNG, PS and all that stuff. It's just really insane type of run. And yeah, this floor it has a gimmick where it'll hide the pieces, so you have to look between the two pieces and just like memorize which one's doing which. And then make sure that if you are using a spell, you pay attention when that's going to happen. That's all. Okay. Nice script. And hopefully we get the gem this thing. Nah, we only got neon. Alright. Alright. This game is being a little bit creepy now. We'll just listen. Nice, we got crazy. There we go. We got it now. since those. So in case we could get our level up to do more damage. And now we have to do this one. And this one is the most annoying one of the four. We need to get not one, and not two, but 3 batteries from the 4. 3 batteries. And the problem with this guy here is that he has a lot of defense. Like, his HP isn't too high, but his defense is insane. Like, you generally can only do like a couple of damage. Like, every turn. Poison, and the great thing about poison is that the damage does not get reduced unless the defense is extremely high, which will be the next one. But on this guy, it's legitimately a blessing that's not reduced at all. There we go. But we still have to do... Oh, we got convert spell too? Oh my god. Well, anyway. We won't be using that, Scroll. Yes, enemy suits sometimes, like a certain enemy could have a chance to drop a scroll. They actually could drop multiple of those scrolls. Not at a very high rate, but there's a chance where they could drop multiple of the same scrolls. We won't be having that safety then. Let's see if we get a Sapphire. No, we don't. Okay. We won't be doing a little bit more damage, but we're fine. We could get one more chance of getting it, but it's only like a 2 damage difference, so it's not huge, but it helps out just a bit for the next couple, like this fight and then the last with the boss of the 4. And each boss does have a name, but I just I haven't played this game. Oh no, I missed that. I don't remember all their names, particularly. So it's kind of like really hard to remember a game that I did speedrun a lot, but I don't remember their names just because of it's not have any relevance to the speedrun at all. In most of the cases. Where I did speedrun. Ooh, we missed that one. We're missing some damage here. So it's slightly slow. Okay. We actually might could do this with this. Ah, so close. So close. Alright. Well, I did miss the poison here, so this fight got a lot longer than it should. But we got the dead battery, so it's all worked out. And now we need to get the salt of the earth. So all these salty dreams of gamers is buried in on this one weird looking dragon here. So let's go. Let's get this salt of the earth from this dragon, and we should be all right. And this one should be doing 2d10. Oh, we have just barely enough attack to avoid that situation. Before I did a run before where it was only doing 2 damage, and I was like really distraught about the whole fight, because this fight it's long, but if you're only doing 2 damage with the poison itself, it becomes even longer. And this was before the strat with Gaming Slash was implemented into the run. So I was only using like 2 main attack spells to actually doing with this boss. And it was very frustrating, to say the least. Because obviously defense is extremely high, so I will only be doing 4 damage for each spell. By average, if I do it correctly. There we go. Hopefully we get this all first try. And we got first try, yes! Booyah! So many salt was burned today. Even my salt was burned today with that boss, with that enemy. It's just so bad. If you're dealing with a very long fight, and it's just like doesn't work out too well. And restart battles just for RNG, maybe RNG manipulation. At this point, it's just a theory. It's just a theory. Like it gets better if you restart immediately. But I just feel a little bit better if I just restart the fight, especially for like this fight here, which could just go extremely wrong if I just do it normally. But it's just a theory. Like a lot of this game, like a lot of I would say the time saves I managed to figure out, it's just my own assumption of how the game works. Like, I don't know if a lot of this is true in this game, like the crit, like that was like, when I started seeing like noticing like the difference between the attacks, and every time I do attack, sometimes it will do a crit. I thought that was just like, it happens randomly when I first saw it. It's like, oh yeah, it happens randomly. It's not always. But then once I like doing them consecutively during a song that was doing a lot of fast like a fast like beat to it, then I started to like develop like a small like gamer sense where I was like, that seems a little bit weird. So I just like continuously, when I kept on like running through this game, I just slowly but surely like starting to understand it. Yeah, okay, this does that. If I do a certain spells in this order, my muscle memory will allow me to do a crit here almost every time. So that means there has to be some sort of consistency with my strat. There has to be. Like, don't tell me that a lot of this is just pure luck based, because oh god. Oh, I messed up there. I used so much convert. So don't tell me that the certain things are not right. And yes, you have to be paying attention to health while doing these fights. So I should be more focusing on certain things like that, but oh man, it's just This game is like a lot of these things I need to like focus on is trying to make sure that I don't die. It's another thing. Like even my world record run, I did die to the last few bosses. I think the last few bosses, yeah. Because I was going about it by going low level. Like, just going gun blazing, just low level it. Alright, this is 14. This is why I put it into the run. This run, particularly because I won't be able to like just block everything. So just a third of the damage could just help out a lot. Alright. Second try worked out better since I used the convert. Or not convert, the barrier. And now we're on the final floor. And this is where they very interesting things. Like, normally you have to get this item by collecting certain things. But if you do this with a comma, you'll immediately get the second best weapon in the game for attacking everything. And we won't be using that. Which is the increase chances of certain drops dropping, because it will lower your overall battle performance. But yes, you're immediately gain the second best weapon once you hit this floor. The requirements are to do that is that you have to be in the item shop, or no, not item shop, the item part of your inventory. So you go to that screen, and then you have to be on the 7th floor. You can't be any floor below because it does not work with that story wise. And this is where I would say the difference between each run is that on this floor you have to deal with the attack where it will switch your pieces backwards. Quite annoying. Luckily, it only happens when she's fight, except the fight with them. But overall, if you're like at the higher difficulty and you're dealing with that, props for you if you actually beat it in like fast manner. Like, my god, it just gets really annoying, and then really intense. Of like, you're not gonna have a fun time. You're never gonna have a fun time with doing that type of mechanic. If your controls are reversed and you have to deal with that with incoming attacks. I mean, if it's like at the beginning of the act, then you just have to do things backwards, but it flips between. So that means you have to like, okay, I immediately have to think, how do I do this backwards? And plus the like the arrows are not RNG when you're dealing with each song for the magic panel, and your spells are always consistent with reversing certain patterns, so you can remember it's those patterns. The patterns for oh my god, I missed the poison again. the patterns for the attacks from the enemies are always RNG. They just don't make any sense. Except like maybe they'll have a more damaging arrow than others. But that's the only consistent thing. Everything else is just pure RNG. Like there's a likelihood that certain arrow will be more damaging and not. But it's just like, you just don't know if it's gonna be a bigger damage deal or not. It's kinda like frustrating, to be honest. To be honest, it's kind of frustrating to not know what's consistent for this arm when you're dealing with certain enemies. Because they can easily just screw you over. Just easily screw you over for a certain thing. Yeah. Oh wait, I already got a rename. What am I doing? I have to get 2 sunlights here, which is a 61%. Oh. But yeah, this is probably another downtime. I won't lose these fights. Like the monsters that each for are not too difficult. Usually, most of the deaths are from the bosses themselves. So during the bosses, I will have to have like more focus time on them, particularly. But if I'm doing with the monsters, and you know that I'm doing with the monsters, so you could pretty much, whoever's on stage could ask me, oh, do you have time to talk about us to talk about certain things? Then yes, I will allow them to talk about, unless I get like if I'm near to the end of the fight, like let's say 1%, like I am at 50 HP on the enemy, then I should be about to be finished with the fight itself. So calling for donations then is not very good timing at all. If I'm barely starting a fight, then if I'm calling for a donation or calling for like incentives, like then essentially it should be around the beginning of the fight, and then during when I'm getting the monsters, the huge amount of time could be used for donation is the 4-minute spell. Trying to get that one spell for slash. So that's a good time to call for donations. If needed, I would talk about more of the run itself, but it's not necessary I need to do that, so I could easily just make up for that time by talking during another part of the monster fight. Ooh, this one's kinda dangerous, but it's fine. So on this floor, when I'm doing the monsters, I don't necessarily need to overall think. I just have to like purely just muscle memory, just do these fights. Missed that one. Let's see. Oh, and alright. Another thing that I remember just now, the annoying thing about this weird effect is that when it transitions between the it going to the next phase and everything, the annoying thing is that you can't, doesn't allow you to press any button. So it's a little bit buggy, and I wish they could fix it, but this developer hasn't been active for a while. Like their last game was like 2 years after this game, which is okay. Yeah, they did another game. The problem is that they haven't been active at all after that, which is the huge problem with this game right now. Is that not only the developers are dead, but also maybe I could say like the speedrunning community for this is kind of dead too. Like it is its old game, and people have to like have their priorities on other games. It's understandable. Like even when I do just like go off and on and off on this game. I just only play it once in a while. But I don't know. I feel like I could submit for this year because I just have enough things to try to like do better about this run. Like I know one of my bad things about me like trying to like do things is my commentary. My commentary hasn't been the best ever. I think my commentary is pretty annoying. But I've been trying to like fix that over the course of last year and this year. So I've been trying to fix that up for a long time. And we got sunlight. Yes. But I sure have a lot of material for this game. Like even if my physical like commentary isn't good, but my commentary that I do make on the side for this game, I do have a lot of jokes that I can make in this game. But I need to make sure that it's appropriate, not like consistently like quite annoying / not very offensive. Since this game has a lot things that could be taken in the wrong way, so I want to like make sure that those are taken care of beforehand. Taking the damage, and this is gonna be a little bit dicey. Oh no! Yeah, I can't really press any buttons when it's transitioning like that. So this floor is just almost impossible just because I will just say buggy game mechanics, that's for sure. Alright. That's out of the way. And we're still missing one more. Alright. Might as well get the experience. We do need to get at least 22 to make this somewhat safe. Yeah, it's extra that I need to take out, and we don't need unicorns. Yeah, we got another experience, another level from that, so that's good. now we do a little bit more damage. 4 damage is a lot better than just 2. There we go. Alright, yeah, I think a problem with this run as well, or not this run, but the game as a speed run, is that you need to have you need to do is be good at multitasking at all times, because you have to be looking at 3 screens at the same time, and you have to memorize that how to get to this certain screen, the appropriate timing. I'm not the best at multitasking, but I won't say that I can't do multitasking while doing this run, because I could easily just do this run fairly a good amount of time with all the craziness that this run has. So you pretty much have to focus on the 3 things. You have to memorize, or keep in mind the timing for your spells. So you memorize the spells that you're using, how fast they move downwards, and what their patterns could be like. So you have to memorize that, and then you have to memorize the amount, time that maybe the opponent could be attacking. Around this time, the opponent should be attacking me right now, sort of thing, right here. It was a little bit delayed, but you just have to have a good idea, not a crazy good idea, an exact idea, but you just need a good reference, on all times. Okay, it's gonna attack here, so that means I'll wait out a little bit to see if it happens. If it doesn't, then maybe a little bit later. And then you wait until it does happen, and then you're like, okay, how much is it? And if I do have time, I use a long attack that will have a lot of pieces. Others, I'll use the quick ones that just have to press 1 time, and then go back to defending, essentially. So there's always that drama of things could not be going so well, and things could easily just go for the worst. I'm at this point where with this game, I'm fine if things go the absolute worst. This game doesn't have the roguelike effect where if you lose, you can't progress back to and everything. The game's all saves every time, so essentially you're pretty safe while running this game. If things go wrong, you just lose time, and then if you're going for a world record attempt, then it's probably a reset. But if you're not going for a world record time, or just a personal best for maybe my personal best for this month or something like that, then just going each run, just learning the small aspect of, okay, what's my recovery doing this run, is more important than just okay, go just resetting every time. Oh, this doesn't work perfectly, or that doesn't work perfectly, or this doesn't work perfectly. I think that this just running this game just occasionally is probably the best, to be honest. I don't try to competitively beat my time. I did that in the past, and that wasn't fun, to say the least. And I think that's probably a lot of reasons why I just every time I do run, I would figure out, okay, I did the best I could for this game. So I'm just gonna try to optimize another game that, like, to be honest, like, I think just finding a new game to try to optimize is the fun thing to do. Like, I think that's why I like this game. It's because it's my first game that I tried to, like, optimize the current run. Like, when I tried to, like, I look at the SC forum, I'm like, okay, is this game being run? And then I saw, like, oh yeah, it is. Just started this month. So it's like, oh, it's a new speed game. I could help out this group of people, make this run better. And then once I got the world record, and then everyone dropped the game, I'm like, okay. And then I just kept on running it, and by myself, for a while. And then after I dropped the game, then the game got popular again for at least a year later, for a little bit, for a hot month, and then it got back to, like, being boring again. So it was a nice game, to be honest. And I don't know, I did like routing out the game to what it is today. Also, let me see if I could do this funny thing, but the game's not allowing me to do that. There's a thing where you can easily get a negative. Like, you won't lose if you lose all your health. You can get a negative at a certain amount. And we got the item that we need. If we use convert, because it uses health for using convert, but it's not a lethal damage. We're gonna put a high percentage here, just in case. So it will give you a negative amount for that amount. So as long as you don't get hit, you have a -1 or -100 if you manage to get up there. So that's the interesting about it. And we're gonna do a safety strat here, where we're gonna get this. Not more damage, but more defense. A small safety strat. And this floor is quite unique. There's this floor, and then there's the route. The game is not gonna end on this boss here. There will be another boss after this one, which is the true mastermind of the whole game. So we're pretty much gonna do 2 fights for this floor. And technically you can do it back to back, but this guy here, he drops a very useful item that we're not able to equip immediately unless we quit out and then equip it. So after we beat this guy here, we'll be able to use that item particularly. And that item, what it does is it's like candlestick, but twice as efficient as what it does. Because candlestick, what it does, it has a 10% increase of speed for your skills. Because your skills have a small timer on it too. So when you use it, it'll start a timer, and it'll be on cooldown. And once it fills up again, then you can use that skill again, immediately back to back. And I can't believe I just went through all this game not to talk about that. I'm such a terrible commentator. But yeah. So with Edge Jacket is that, or the equipment that you get from him, is that it will be 20% for all your skills, so it will be twice as fast, and it's very needed for the last fight, particularly because that fight takes a long time. Like, it's an insane amount of time that you can easily can well, no, scratch that. It doesn't take a long time. I think it takes a long time if you make a lot of mistakes, because the song itself isn't long. It's actually, the problem is that it's quite short. So that means that you have to do that fight somewhat perfectly. Others, you'll be dealing with getting scammed out by the time. Because if you, like I said, another kitchen you need to do with is the time of the fight. So if you run out of time in a fight and not die, you'll still lose. So that means you have to be very careful on making sure that you don't do that by completing the whole fight very quickly as possible. And right now I'm being a little bit paranoid, but I'm trying to be as safe as possible with this fight. Don't want to reset here. There it is. Orange shades. Skip this fight. Skip that scene, and then going back to the safe room, so that we could get the equipment here. So 40% compared to the 10%. This is like 4 times better actually. And then we could easily just go back here, so we don't have to refight already again. And the last song isn't the crazy like hard to it. It's not like super hard, but it can be like a little bit tricky to manage things through if you're not very careful and making sure that you're not taking too much damage, because you easily can die if you allow the pieces to drop down. And he is the highest one to drop more reds than everyone in the whole tower. So it's quite unfortunate if you miss that one too. We're on pace. We missed a couple of notes just for make sure that we're fully defended. Because the reds will do a lot more damage. They'll be doing like 25 damage each. So if I allow 2 of them through, then I have to go full survival mode, and that's not good. That will be wasting more time and also not be efficient to kill this guy quick enough. Where I won't be able to use any spells at all. Oh yeah, and there's another of these. Oh, ooh, whew. I almost allowed that to go through, and I'm gonna take a lot of damage here. This be worth it. Yes! And time will be... Nah. Time will stop now.
This is unprecedented.
But yeah, that's...
You better kill me soon.
Before the
If you
echo,
don't, I will do everything I possibly can to bring you down. Go ahead. I won't beg at your feet.
Stop it!
What?
What's the point? What are you fighting for, Kai? Me?
And
Of
yes,
course.
the game is
But
quite
isn't that
cheesy,
it? Isn't that what they
but
wanted?
I like the voice acting.
For you to care
so-
about me? They're going to kill you, Kai, and you aren't even against them. Not really, because
For
aren't they
my
right?
estimate of this game is
A
like 2
little?
hours and 15.
Don't you
If it's
feel-
after that, I'm just like,
don't you feel anything for
I'll
me?
just tell them to
Naya,
just
I
kill
do,
it.
but it feels
Like,
wrong.
if it
because
takes
they
more than
wanted it.
2 hours and 15
Was any
minutes,
real
I
harm
am.
done to
I
us,
don't
to
know
anyone?
what would be
Do you
wrong
really
with
need
this
to be
story,
part of some
that
crusade like
happens.
Shira?
but
Do you really need to
the
die?
game can easily just waste me
meaninglessly
like
because
a
of some
lot of
abstract
time.
concept
Like the
of
game,
morality?
just by
They'll
on these
rebuild their
splits alone,
system, and it'll
It
all
wasted
have
me
been for
28
nothing.
minutes just
I-
on bad RNG
I
drop.
can't condone what they're doing.
And
Can't you?
I'm adding like
In the end, you're
10
just
more
playing some kind of
minutes.
technological cupid.
Like 9 more,
Even if
10
you
more.
can't condone it, you can at least accept it.
Like I
from
could say
me,
like 2 hours and 20 minutes
please.
because I usually end
Parents
like
have been
finish
arranging
runs
their
underneath
children's
2 hours and
marriages since
15
biblical
minutes.
times. We're
Like
simply
my-
far more efficient.
Worst
You're
run
killing the
was my
mood
first
here.
one where I had a
My
run where it's
apologies.
2 hours and
regardless
18 minutes.
regardless of whether or
No,
not
2 hours
things
and
work
30
out
minutes
between
actually.
us,
2 hours and 30
I guess
minutes
it's
was my
still our
worst
choice to
of the
make.
runs, but that was like me
you're
like
right.
not knowing how
This
to run
tower-
this game at all.
this tower just isn't a fight worth dying for. It's disgusting. It really is. But there's much worse out there. I'll let
But,
it go here.
yeah.
I'm so glad you
That's
agree.
before the echo.
There's not much time
I'm gonna
left.
try to submit
You'll be
this
ejected from the system forcibly.
to
We'll make sure you're well taken care of. Kai,
GDQ specifically, but I
Best of
highly
luck.
doubt it will be
we'll leave you be,
accepted.
so long as you take no
I mean,
action
who wouldn't
against
want
us.
a DDR game with
understand.
RP elements with
Lumen Guignol Lumen.
possibility that it could screw over the run? I mean, if they accept
Exception thrown.
roguelikes,
Memory
how would they
address
not
0x
accept this game?
0A
Because it's
3
not a
B
roguelike.
B
It's actually
1
just an
9
RPG
3 4 C
with
B
DDR
1
elements.
0A3.
What could
Could not
possibly
be
go
caught.
wrong?
System
What could
memory
possibly go
failure.
wrong?
Detect 8743293893939393939.
System shutting down.
Yeah. This game is just very interesting. Hopefully they are fine
Naya,
with this game, but I don't know.
I'm here, Kai.
we made it.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing this Friday?
Yeah. Like I plan to get to HEQ, but if I'm pretty sure that I'm not quite sure if I could get this
Do I hit this one?
submitted.